Ooh, welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach, joined as always by a tired Johnny Venerable today because he had a long day yesterday. Johnny went live twice. PHNX Cardinals are going to be live again at 4 p.m. Johnny is a sleepy boy. Johnny, how are we feeling after the roller coaster that was a strange Thursday?
I mean, not great. That was just the biggest hot mess disaster since the last hot mess disaster that this team has had. But they're my Cardinals. I love them. Thankfully, I was reflecting on all of it this morning. Doesn't affect their line for the season. It doesn't affect their win-loss totals. It doesn't affect anything in the slightest you would think on the field. And I think the Cardinals will come out better for it, specifically Kyler Murray, who will take no prisoners this fall in mercenary mode. So, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and other teams are suffering season-ending injuries, which you hate to see, at least the Cardinals, knock on wood, relatively healthy as training camp continues.
Yeah. I see a lot of stuff talking about Kyler Murray in a good way with his passion, because that was a big gripe on him. Do you think this will kind of propel into next season and he'll have some fire coming out and something to prove?
And he plays Patrick Mahomes week 1. If you're not fired up for that and a showcase to the world, to the golden child of the NFL, I'm Kyler Murray, I'm on his level, this is what I can do. And he comes out like last year against Tennessee, has 5 touchdowns in week 1. But to me, for Kyler Murray to be taken seriously after this whole thing, and they got to put together a complete season. They can't come out and have a tremendous start from September to early November and then fall off. It's going to be what he does against the elites at the end of the season, and their schedule is robust. It's difficult, but Kyler has all the tools to be able to get this team back to the playoffs, and I think he will. So, we're never more motivated than when our back's against the wall and people doubt us. And he's had 6 months of finger pointing, and I think he comes out better for it.
What do you think his pregame meal is, Johnny?
He did a GQ thing not too long ago where like stuff he couldn't live without, but I never got around to watching it. That's probably not good investigatory journalism by me. I don't know what he eats. I want to probably candy.
I would go with chicken tendies.
Maybe
we should come up with some chicken tendies from
Happy Meal.
Yeah, Happy Meal. Maybe some chicken tendies from Four Peaks. Those are fantastic. If you haven't had them yet, you can head over to Four Peaks right now. You can go to Four Peaks 8th Street Pub in Tempe. Get some nice, yummy chicken tendies. Get yourself a beer. We had them make us a concoction of a bunch of different beer when we were at the at Four Peaks before our Sun Devil show. The Four Peaks Jungle Juice is what we asked for. Even though it's not something on their menu and it's probably not something they even call it, but that's what we call it. And it had a bunch of stuff in it, and they're very accommodating there. So I went to Four Peaks, and if you can't get out to the 8th Street Pub in Tempe, you can get it wherever you get your beer. In Arizona, you got to be 21 and over to drink it and enjoy that responsibly. Eat those chicken tendies responsibly as well, because they're damn good.
I had the wings. I did like the peach chipotle. They were fantastic. Did a little bit of the dry rub. We did our bet show, and then I went into a corner and ate 10 wings by myself alone. Went to town so nobody could see me, and I've got everything on my face and on my fingers. Then I rallied, and then Max didn't eat his chicken fingers, and I dabbled into some of those as well.
So, wow! Yeah, you had some tendies and wings. Did the waitress patronize you like she did at Zips?
No, she did not. They treated me like a big boy, like the big boy I am. Just like we're going to treat Kyler like a big boy this season. But yes, I will be returning to Zips this fall for my retribution. I'm tinkering with the idea, Shano, of doing one of those hot wing challenges with no water. We'll see if that happens.
Oh my God!
Maybe we can film it.
Maybe we could do that on the tailgate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Johnny, lots to talk about with the trade deadline coming up.
Let's talk about
it. Jacob, most likely going to be sellers. You think, right?
Yeah. No, there's no chance they don't sell. The only thing that would prevent them from selling is if they don't have buyers. Is if people don't want Christian Walker, is if people don't want Joe Mantiply, is if people don't want David Peralta.
What about Madison Bumgarner?
It's going to be really tough to move that contract. He's had a better year, but people still don't associate him as the Mad Bum of old. And so you have to probably be willing to eat some of that salary to get him to go somewhere else.
He just had a really nice start against the Nationals. Really nice start. I think at only 32 years old, I think a team should take a flyer on him and eat that contract, because you insert him back into a pennant race, gentlemen, and I think he's 80% of what he used to be.
Playoff bummy is certainly elite.
It's a real thing.
So aside from bad teams, actually no, only bad teams is what we're talking about selling. Juan Soto, obviously on the move. If they can't figure out a contract, came out today, they're going to make their quote last offer to him, and if not, they'll move him before the trade deadline. So I'm just assuming he's going to get moved. I don't think he wants to play with the Nationals. Couple teams mentioned. I don't really want to talk about them because they don't need to get better, and it freaks me out. And baseball sucks because
we have to talk about them, because that's what this show is. We're betting on where he's going to go, even though you can't do that on DraftKings. I don't think yet. Team futures or player futures like you could on the NBA. My official prediction is he does end up in San Diego. I think St. Louis has pivoted at this point. They're going to go for pitching depth. They're a team that might make some sense for Madison Bumgarner. The Soto move for the Cardinals would be not necessarily for this year, but for the next, obviously, 10 years. There's concern about Arenado opting out. Cardinals need to focus on winning the division in 2022, whereas the Padres, guys, it's a foregone conclusion they're not winning the West this year, so they can start selling, the 2023 season, even if they make the playoffs as a wild card team. Is we've got Manny Machado and Juan Soto come out to Petco and have a blast, because we're going to contend now. And I also think it blocks, if you're San Diego, it blocks LA from potentially dabbling in that market for him.
Yeah, LA and San Diego are the two I hear the most. LA, both teams would just give up a bunch of prospects, and like Gavin.
If the Dodgers get him, we'll chisel it into granite. Yankees Dodgers World Series. I'm going to barf into a barf bag. I don't want to see that.
And then the fun thing to talk about today, Shohei Ohtani rumors have been circling. What are we thinking about that? Do you think he gets moved?
We were grossly wrong, or at least I was, about two things happening or not happening. I said DK Metcalf was going to be traded. Well, he just signed a 3-year contract extension. He's going nowhere.
I thought he was going to get traded.
All right, shut up. It's your sweet baby Mariners or your sweet baby Seahawks.
I literally never thought he was going to get traded.
Okay, that's fine. That's good for you. Ohtani, we both agreed that the Angels are living in delusional fantasy land. They think they're the Dodgers. They think they're above selling players like Mike Trout and Ohtani. Now, it sounds like the whole roster could be up for grabs. I don't think they trade Trout because I think he's got rib injuries, damaged goods.
Well, they've already ruined his career, and there's no point in trading. Ohtani needs to get the F out of there, man. He's 28. Like, this is it. He can't stay there any longer. He needs to go play on a team that deserves him. So we'll see what happens there. Ransom in the chat saying, if the Dodgers get him, I might commit an LA-related atrocity. That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Josh Hunt saying you can't make people in LA more miserable than they already are. That's true. What do you think about Dodger Stadium, Johnny? I know it's pretty polarizing. Do you like it?
It's fine.
I really enjoy it. I'm like, I get why people don't like it, but I just think the location is so cool, like up on top of that hill.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold a candle to Petco or any of those great parks like that,
right.
But I still really like it. But yes, living in LA, miserable enough with the rent and everything right now. And the rent for Juan Soto, it would probably increase if Juan Soto went there. LA prices would increase. They'd probably tax them.
They obviously have a better setup than whatever the hell's happening in Oakland, but I would take San Francisco, the Giants Stadium over there easily. And I would take Petco. Petco Park is the nicest stadium.
I think Petco Park is my favorite.
Because it's comfortable. The concession stands are premium because you have to be here in San Diego, and for the longest time they weren't competitive. I've been to that stadium before; it's outstanding. I've not been to Dodger Stadium, but I mean, it looks like run of the mills. I mean,
it's just the location. It's on top of a hill. The walking up there is very hard, and then walking down when you're blasted after the game is even harder. All right, well, let's get into our picks, Johnny. I know you're going with the Yankees today after what they did to us yesterday.
They screwed me yesterday. We're going to double down today. I like the Yankees -1.5. They're not playing great ball out of the All-Star break. It's the lull that we all expected because nobody else is competitive in that division. But they're not a lock to get the number 1 seed. Houston's playing good baseball. That's going to be tremendous AL championship round. ALCS, but I like the Yankees to win tonight. Listen, 5-5 in their last 10. I'm not buying it. They won yesterday. They're going to win today. You know who else is going to win? The Cardinals. They managed to split in Toronto without Goldschmidt and Arenado, who have not gotten their COVID-19 vaccines. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Cardinals are in desperate need of a series win. They're dangerously close to falling behind the Brewers 4 games, and I think if it gets to 5 or 6, like, could they potentially be sellers at the deadline? They want people to believe they're buyers. Coincidentally enough, they're in Washington, where they could just let Juan Soto fly home with them. Wouldn't that be nice? But I like them today. Adam Wainwright really gave the pitching staff a break. Now they've got their other ace on the mound, Miles Mikolas. Anibal Sanchez, longtime veteran pitcher going for Washington. He's been terrible against the Cardinals historically. And then their Angels money line. You know who's not going to do well today, guys? You know who's not going to do well?
Who?
Let me pull up my stats here, because I had some stats pulled up and now my phone just died. You know who's not going to do?
Let's see.
You know who else who's not going to do well today? The aforementioned Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. When news gets out that you're about to blow up the team, even if you're playing the shitty Rangers, right, who have been feisty this year, not terrible, your team is going to implode. We see this before every deadline when stuff gets leaked out. So it's my lock. It's my DraftKings pick of the week. I love the Rangers to beat the holy hell out of the Angels today, because everybody's going to say, bon voyage to this sorry-ass franchise. We're about to be shipped out of town.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
You ended the inflection on your voice made it seem like you're going to say more.
Well, my phone was breaking up, and I had some stuff written down because I prepare for the show because I'm a professional. But yes. I love the angles, the secret hidden angles that you don't see on other gambling sites that only I can come up with, like the Angels are sellers, so they will suck before the deadline. Definitely.
Yeah, it's very unique. Ben in the chat saying that Oakland Coliseum is very underrated. I actually agree with this as well. It's one of my sleeper stadiums. I'm a big fan of it. It's brings some talking with the Angels. The Angels Stadium, very strange. I do not like the Rally Monkey. I hate the Rally Monkey. In fact, we should ban the Rally Monkey. I think it's stupid. Yeah, that's all I got on that front.
I like Ransom Klinger in the chat. Are the Angels the biggest bust in MLB history? 100% they are. Easily. Yeah. Every offseason, I remember when they signed Pujols, who's that pitcher from the Texas Rangers that they signed at that same time that had just led them to the back-to-back World Series appearances. They do this like every 3 years where they have this huge what's their owner's name? Art something. And he's
Artie Moreno.
And Artie Moreno is just the biggest dirt. And he comes out there and they open their checkbook and they try to buy a team. And then they brought back, what was it? Their Mike Scioscia once upon a time. They got rid of him. They literally need to.
It's terrible.
They need
it's terrible. Yeah, Ohtani, Trout, veteran pools, and Syndergaard. The list of stars is endless. Yeah, it is really bad. All right, we'll get into my picks for the day. Big fan of the Blue Jays today. Taking the -2.5 plus 100. They won by 2 yesterday against the Tigers. I think they're going to beat the brakes off them today. And then the most profitable team in the MLB. Give me the Baltimore Orioles run line. I don't think I've ever taken their run line this year. I'm usually on their money line, but they're actually the favorite today. They're in Cincinnati playing the Reds after a great series against Tampa Bay. We saw the inside the park home run by Trey Mancini that should not have happened. They just caused chaos, and I love it. And speaking of chaos, we got the Chaos Kings themselves, the Seattle Mariners. I'm taking their money line again today. Yesterday, I was right. I had Logan Gilbert under 2.5 runs. He gave up a 2-run bomb in the first inning and then held them scoreless. And his next 6 got taken out in the 7th, and then the Mariners bullpen's not great. They gave up a 2-run shot, lost 4-2. So I'm taking them at plus 155. They got Robbie Ray on the mound tonight, so I'm a big fan of that. I'm getting my props. Did we just get a soccer pick in the chat?
Toronto FC plus 370 lock of the weekend. That's a nice lock.
John, are you taking that?
If I knew anything about soccer, I would be able to dive into that prediction a little bit more thoroughly. But I'll take Benjamin's word for it. Benjamin, friend of the program, friend of the channel. Thank you, Benjamin. That's our soccer insight for the summer. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll get into my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week in a second, but just a reminder, guys, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use that promo code PHNX when you sign up. Make your first deposit. Get $1,000 risk-free bet instantly. Throw it on the Orioles, throw it on the Mariners, throw it on my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. It's plus 350. Throw it with $1,000 on it, win 3.5K, risk-free bet. It's just that simple when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. Most of all, it just makes everything a little bit more fun. So we're getting into the lull of the baseball season, and your favorite team isn't doing the best, like the D-backs. Well, the D-backs are hot, but they're just going to start selling their players off. They're elite, as Jacob would say. You can do that, making him a little bit more fun. But just a reminder, age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for more details. All right, we'll get into my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, and it's none other than the sexiest man in baseball, the most fun man in baseball, Julio! Come back to me, Julio! Come back to me, Julio! Rodriguez.
Debating on whether or not I want to quit this show after whatever the hell that was.
To hit a home run, plus 350. He hit his 6th home run of the season against, who's pitching tonight? Justin Verlander. He's going to tear him apart, the rookie against the vet. Give me it. Plus 350. Hit another bomb. He went oppo last time. He's going to pull the ball today. Hit it about 470. Book it right over that left field wall in Astros Stadium. Give it to me. Inject it in my veins. And then my other pick. Not as fun. It's not my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, but that was my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. It's Joe Ryan to have over 4.5 strikeouts today. He's averaging like 6 in his last 4 games. Let's see where are the numbers. He had 4, 7, 5, and 9. So I'm taking him over 4.5 strikeouts today. Big fan of him. Big fan of the Twinnies as well. I haven't bet on them recently, but we might get back into that if they do me well today. They're against the Padres and Mr. Eye Pockets himself, Blake Snell. Johnny, what's your props for today?
I like Arenado returning to the Arizona Cardinal, St. Louis Cardinal lineup at plus 350. He's batting 400 against Anibal Sanchez. A little sneaky one that I didn't put on here. Albert Pujols has 1 career bomb, but he's batting 500 against Mr. Sanchez. He's got the best odds on the team to go deep tonight, plus 300 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I think the Cardinals win handedly tonight. And then Lance Lynn, my guy for the Chicago White Sox, I think he goes over. The team's been playing a little bit better than most people have noted lately. Lance Lynn, I think, is somebody that potentially could be moved to the White Sox, opt to be sellers. Big physical pitcher, veteran right-hander that has a lot of postseason experience that could help a lot of teams, potentially showcasing Lance Lynn for his current manager, Tony La Russa. So I like Lance and the fellas on the south side to get the W behind his robust pitching line tonight.
Why not us? A couple Julios in the chat. Drop your Julios in the chat. Thanks for the Julios, Benjamin and Ransom. We'll be back on Monday, every Monday through Friday, live on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. And we'll see if anything happens over the weekend. I'm assuming there's going to be some movement. So keep it locked in right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef. You can follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_bets. And as I said, every Monday through Friday right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. We'll be back on Monday. Peace, love, and Julio!